And I thank the ATA team, Sachidhar, who showed interest initially, then Naresh coordinating from the board, then Pradeep, then Vishnu for special thanks to Vishnu for designing the flyer and coordinating at every step and now hosting the event. This meditation is a modern version of what the Buddha taught 2500 years back, focusing on breathing. That was one of the fundamental teachings. Yeah. And in Telugu, because some of us are Telugu, it is translated into Telugu as Dhyanam ante swasa meda jhasa. Dhyanam ante, that means meditation means focusing on breathing. That's an old saying. I've been practicing and teaching this for almost 20 years to adults initially, then children, and then to all age groups. What I like about it, it is very simple. Actually, I made it very simple. The practice, the theory part of it, the practice part of it, and made it so easy for busy people like all of you, young people like you, to practice it anywhere, anytime, without sacrificing sacrificing any of your current activities. That is the beauty of it. So what I would request you to check in your mind and body how you are feeling now, how your body is feeling, how your mind is feeling. Make a note of that silently in your mind. And at the end of the session, let's see if you find any difference. Let me give you a bird's eye view of this. In this meditation, we focus on the in breaths and the out breaths. In breaths and out breaths. And we count only during the out breaths. We count during the out breaths. I will be explaining it in words first, then I will be demonstrating it. Then I will invite you to join me and we'll practice it together. It is a 3-step process. Every time I introduce something new. If you really practice as I'm going to suggest, it will become a part of your daily routine without sacrificing any of your current activities, without sitting down and doing it. So that will be a big blessing going forward. And the people who have been practicing it have given me a lot of feedback, like improvement in focus, improvement in sleep, that is guaranteed, calmness, relationships, self-confidence. They also reported relief in anxiety, insomnia, depression, anger, blood pressure, fatigue, and phobias. These were all, I didn't know what it could do. I knew what it did for me, but these are some things that people told me over many years. So let us start with the in-breaths. During every in-breath, whenever the air is entering the nose, you can feel a slight coolness here. That's because there is always some moisture inside the nose and air is passing over the moist surface. It creates evaporation, creates a cooling effect, just like you feel a little chill when you come out of the shower. It's just like that. And we can recognize the in-breath by feeling the coolness, sensing the coolness. Another way of sensing the in-breath is keep one palm over your belly button, and when you breathe in, the stomach expands. You can feel the movement of the stomach. So either using the coolness as a signal or the stomach movement as a signal, you can recognize when is air going in. You cannot be mistaken about it. And at the moment, forget about the out breaths. So I want each of us to experience that coolness and this movement. So I would recommend place one hand, one palm over the belly button, keep it there. And when I say start, focusing on the sensation inside the nose and the stomach. And keep doing it and continue doing it till I say thank you. It will be less than a minute. Start. Thank you. You can open your eyes. I felt a little coolness because I have been practicing for a long time. I don't know about you. But don't worry too much about the coolness, because as long as you are able to sense now air is going in, our job is done. Next, let us now come to out breaths. What do we do during the out breaths? When the air is going out, you don't feel any sensation because the air has picked up the moisture and temperature from the lungs, and you don't feel any sensation. That's okay. But what do we do during the out breaths? During the first out breath, we'll say one in a longish manner. Let me show you. First time we breathe out, we say loudly, initially loudly, then silently. One. It's almost like Om. Two. Second time, two. Third time, three. Three. And what do we say after three? We don't say four. We restart from one. The idea is to keep it simple, easy to remember, easy to do. That's how we made it. So another way recognizing the out breath is keeping the hand, and when you are exhaling, the stomach will be going in. So you are counting during the out breath, and you can also sense it. But mostly during the out breath, you don't have to keep the hand over the abdomen. The counting is enough to engage the mind. Let me do one thing now. I only explained the theory. I will now demonstrate. Less than a minute, and you just watch me. See the pattern of counting. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thanks for watching. Now you know exactly how to do it, and because it's a Zoom session, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, though you can hear me. So let us all do a joint silent practice. I will not be saying the numbers. You know how to count during the out breath. Keep doing it in your way. I will do it in my way. Within less than a minute, when I say thank you, open your eyes and we'll go to the next step. Okay. I don't know if anybody has got any doubts by now. How do I get to know if anybody has any questions? Vishnuji.
Yeah, there is one question, like if you could also explain in Telugu, it will be good for one person. So you can just briefly give an overview in Telugu.
I think it will be very difficult. It will be time also a crunch now. But if anybody is interested, I will be very happy to do a Telugu session separately. Because majority of people now, I don't know, are there, Vishnu doesn't know Telugu. I don't know if any other people are there who don't know Telugu.
Yeah. So I request everyone who wants Telugu, just type it in the chat that they want the Telugu session, and I will pass it on to our.
Yes. I'm ready to do the Telugu session separately, please. Bear with me. Because otherwise we'll lose track of time now. Because I have to speak in English, say in English, so it is impossible for me.
Okay.
I apologize for the inconvenience. Okay, so let us go ahead with the joint silent practice. You will be doing it, I'll be doing it. And just to refresh, during the in-breath, feel the coolness. During the out-breath, first time 1, second time 2, Third time 3. You count during the exhale. And keep doing it till I say thank you. And it will be under 1 minute. Start. Thank you. I think by now you have a fairly good idea how to do this on your own. This is one way of focusing on breathing, counting your breath silently in the mind. But I realized over a period of time and in a particular circumstance actually that we need something more than this. And what is that? One day I was in Bhadrachalam when I was working, ITC Bhadrachalam paper boards. I taught this to the school teachers, their company school, then the students, they taught to the students. And in the summer camp, one teacher was doing the session for the 10 to 13-year-old kids. And he asked me to join. So they were all sitting there and practicing it. So I was watching them. They were eyes closed. They were sitting cross-legged on the grass. Then a thought came to my mind. What are they thinking about? Are they counting the breaths? Are thinking about something? Their birthday, their friends, their whatever, TV show? How do I know? Am I wasting my time and their time? That was a question. Then at that time, it struck me on my own that since thousands of years, people have used a set of beads, prayer beads. After every chant, they will advance by one bead like that. So they were using the beads. Even now, I have seen people using it. So instead of using the beads for which you have to search, and if you don't have the beads, you can't do the meditation. So I started using the fingers and it worked out. Why I cannot see my... I'm seeing Naresh on the screen. I'm not seeing myself. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see you.
See you.
But why I cannot see myself? I'm showing my finger, but my my picture is still. I need to see myself also in action.
Okay, so my suggestion is, could you log out and log in again?
Myself?
Yeah, I don't know why you are not able to see, but if we go out and come in, maybe. You are on mute, sir. Sir, we can't hear you.
Yeah,
Yes.
now? Okay,
Yes,
good. I see myself
perfect.
back. Oh, this is very important.
Yes.
I just noticed it. So they were doing it. Then I thought, okay, why not use the fingers? You know what? Yeah, it's like this. So I started using this technique of touching the thumb to the pinky, tip of the thumb and tip of the pinky joined together. Okay. Yeah. Vishnu is demonstrating, right?
Yes.
Okay. So are you going to hold it up like that?
Yes,
And
I will hold.
shall I go ahead with my instructions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Keep it like that. And we count 3 breaths. I'm only telling now, not practicing. Then move the thumb to the next ring finger, tip of the ring finger, and count 3 breaths again. Then the middle finger, count 3 breaths like this. And then the index finger, count 3 breaths. And when you get to the thumb, if I again keep like this, I will get confused. Am I here or am I here? So I keep when I get to the thumb, I keep, yeah, index finger at the base of the thumb. So this means I am working at the thumb. This means I am working at the index finger. Clear? Okay.
Yeah.
So let us, I call this the tip mode because we are using the fingertips. So yeah, you can put your hand down. Now we all know. So the way we do this tip mode is start with the left hand pinky, left hand little finger, touch the thumb, tip of the thumb to the tip of the pinky, count 3 breaths just like you did before. After counting 3 breaths, not 1 breath, please. Some people jump after 1 breath. I saw that in my seminars. So count 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Only after counting 3 breaths, move the thumb to the ring finger and so on. After counting 3 breaths, the ring finger to the middle finger, then the index finger, then the base of the thumb. So when I say start with the left hand pinky and then go finger after finger after completing 5 fingers. When I say thank you, open your eyes, stop the practice and open your eyes. Start. Count in the same longish manner. Thank you. So what we did just now was the tip mode. We call it the tip mode. Next, I don't know how I got into this next one. Somehow this was not going deep enough. Somehow there like a hunch it came to me. We want to make the meditation go deeper. So what I did, you watch your fingers. Is everybody seeing me in the big screen? I would like my picture video
Yes.
to be shown in the big screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will do that.
Yeah, please do that because people need to see what I'm showing clearly.
I'm going to pin.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. So every finger has got 2 cross lines. Finger is divided into 3 parts. Every finger is divided into 3 parts. So what I'm going to do is keep the thumb at the top segment of the little finger. Okay? And count 3 breaths. Then move down the same finger. Don't go to the next finger. Down the pinky to the middle position and count 3 breaths again. Then move to the last segment and count 3 breaths again. That means every finger we are going to count three breaths, middle position 3 breaths, bottom position 3 breaths. 3 plus 3 plus 3. So this is the segment mode. Start with the left hand pinky. After all the 3 segments are done, go to the next ring finger. Again the same thing. Middle finger, same thing. And index finger, same thing. When you get to the thumb, use the tip of the index finger to keep on the segments of the thumb, middle position, middle of thumb, bottom of thumb. Okay? So let us start the segment mode now. And in real life, you can, even the tip mode or the segment mode, when you finish the left hand, you can go to the right hand, repeat the same thing. When you finish and then the right hand to left hand, you can keep switching and doing it as long as you like or as short as you like. Now we'll start the segment mode. When I say start, close your eyes, start with the segment mode, and it will be 2 to 3 minutes. You will be impatient, but be with the breath. Keep counting like we decided before. We have done it before. And enjoy the process. See how it makes you feel. Start. You don't need to breathe in a special manner. Just go with the flow. Easy breathing. No deep breathing. Be patient. Enjoy the meditation. Let your body relax. If you feel like yawning, don't hold it up. Feel free. Thank you. Slowly open your eyes. Come into the real world. How did you feel? Thank you. This segment mode takes you deep into meditation. You must have seen the difference between the counting mode, the tip mode, and the segment mode. This is like works like magic for me at least, and many people. Next one, all these we did with eyes closed, but we would like to practice this meditation anywhere, anytime, even when the eyes are open. How do we do that? That is, when your eyes are open, focus on something right before you. Don't up and down, no. Just right before you. I see the window curtain. I see some colored dots on the window curtain, and the camera of the laptop, I see a small light coming from that. I can see that. Or I can choose one of the computer icons, some of the program icons. So keep your eyes on that only. Stare at that target that you have chosen and do the counting breaths or the tip mode, whatever you like. Start and keep doing it till I say thank you. Don't let your eyes wander. Thank you. So when you focus the eyes, somehow it calms the mind also. Some of the children in grade 3 told me, "Oh, I love this." So they were very fond of this. So it is like in yoga, we have tratak, watching the candle, flickering candle flame. This is something like that. It gives a similar effect on mind and body. And the last one is, I call it 911 because it gives a quick impact on your mind and body. How do we do that? Breathe in through the nose or the mouth quickly. Quick inhale and blow through the lips. Imagine there is a straw in your between your lips and you are blowing through a straw. So I I close my lips almost close but with a small opening. So through that small opening I blow the air. The idea is to blow exhale for a long time, as long as you can. So let me demonstrate. So I was blowing air so long. So something like this, do it at your own convenience, comfort level, and keep doing it till I say thank you. It will be about 10 times. Start. You can do it eyes closed. You will feel a big difference. Blow as long as you can. You can breathe in quickly through the mouth. Thank you. We have done with all the different modes. We know the technique. Now the $1,000,000 question. How long should one practice, etc.? That is very common. The first question that I raise is how long? There is a reason why I do not want to give any rules or impose any restrictions. Because human nature has got tremendous resistance to any change. I want to keep going in the same way that I have been doing all my life. I do not want to change any of my habits. So the moment I give a rule, that rule will be used as an excuse for not doing it. Well, I realized it in myself, and I have seen so many people. They go to a 10-day rigorous Vipassana program, come back. I have met 6 of them like that, and I asked each of them, "Are you practicing after you came back from the Vipassana camp?" "No, where is the time for that?" The teachers told me to practice 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the night. You know my lifestyle. I can't do that. Like that. So many people begin with a lot of enthusiasm. Then the old habits are like big elephants. The small habits are like tiny bugs on the floor. The elephant old habit doesn't like the bug. It squashes the bug. The new habits die and the old habits continue to dominate you. So nothing new can be done unless you make it super easy, excuse free, easy to do, easy to understand everything. That is how I have designed this. So what I say is there are no rules, restrictions. Even when you focus on a single breath, that is enough. Because the thoughts are racing through our mind like rockets, or like race cars, they are going around so fast. So if you stop a race car, even for 1 second, the speed is broken. And stop it periodically. Where is the race? There is no more a race. The thoughts are not racing. And you seem to have control on the thoughts. Done. You are in a different world. If you can gain control on the thoughts by any technique under the sun, you are a master of your life. And you don't have to feel that you are at the mercy of your thoughts. That is the biggest problem with everybody. So even one breath is enough. Focus on a few breaths, focus on for a few seconds, focus on a few minutes. Do it for any minutes. Don't worry about the time. And don't beat yourself up for not practicing. No. Celebrate whatever you do. And that's the only way you can develop a new habit. Next question. Should I take deep breaths? No. This is not yoga breathing. In yoga, I do it every day. It is a different thing. You have to regulate the breath, so many breaths per minute in through the nostril. The variety of pranayam are there. They have their place. This is not like pranayam. This is more like vipassana. How do we do that? You focus on the breaths as they happen. Don't try to change them passively. How? Imagine you are sitting on the beach and you are watching the waves. Sometimes the waves are big, sometimes the waves are small, sometimes they are fast, sometimes they are slow. You are sitting on the sand on the beach and you are watching the waves. You are not pushing or pulling the water. Just like that. Focus on your breaths as they happen. The breath is the leader and you are the follower. Then where is the problem? You are not making any effort into the breathing. Don't try to put any effort into breathing. Just watch the breaths as they happen, as they happen. Don't worry, it will work. And finally, when should one practice and how should one sit? These are also important questions. Again, no rules or restrictions because it works anytime in any body position. All you need is your mind and your breath. You are putting the two together. But over a period of time, based on my experience and the feedback from practitioners, I developed some guidelines, super easy times to practice this meditation. First, bedtime. At some point, every 24 hours, you have to lie down in the bed and you need sleep. You're begging for sleep practically, or crying for sleep. And at some point, you want to sleep, nothing else. You don't want thoughts, you don't want anything. So the moment you decide to sleep, use the segment mode. 3 breaths at the top segment, 3 breaths middle segment, 3 breaths bottom segment. Keep doing it, finger after finger. Left hand completed, go to right hand. Right hand completed, go to left hand. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And you will be amazed how quickly you will get sleep. If you are sleep starved, you will sleep in 3 fingers itself, segment mode. Many people told me. But some days it could be more, some days it could be less. Again, don't stress yourself, oh, I completed my 2 hands, I completed 4 hand segment mode, even then I'm not getting sleep. Believe me, it happened to me many times. Sometimes I sleep quickly, sometimes I struggle, but I don't struggle. I keep breathing. Keep doing it, keep doing it. Sometime after about 6 hands completion, I feel my body relaxing. And then very quickly I fall asleep. So this is guaranteed to give you good sleep every single night. It is not working for you, call me, email me. I'll make it work for you. I have done it in the past. So that is bedtime is one great time and it is compulsory. Every night when you want to sleep, do it at bedtime and I will call it sleeping meditation. Okay? So there are so many names for this. And next step is people like me or many people who have crossed a certain age wake up in the night and to go to the bathroom. Yes, it happens to many people. So whenever sleep is interrupted, to get back to sleep is a big challenge for many, many people. In fact, my eye doctor, whom I visited maybe 12 years back, I gave him the meditation brochure to him and just spoke a couple of sentences. And next time he said, thank you, Mr. Channapragada. First thing, I've been going to him every year. He will say first thing, oh, thank you, Mr. Channapragada. I can't thank you enough. That is helping me get back to sleep. That was his problem number 1. So whenever in the night your sleep is disturbed, start with the segment mode. And one thing I forgot, after doing the segment mode, after some time you may feel sleepy, 50% sleepy or sort of sleepy, and you may not like to move the fingers. That is expected. Then switch to the counting mode. Just count in the mind. Your fingers are free. After some time, your mind doesn't like to count. Then just feel the coolness. In 3 steps, you can get back to sleep after an interruption, guaranteed. But don't again have any expectations, sometime quick, sometime late. So that is when the sleep is interrupted. That is the second opportunity or second step. Third step is when you wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, you are half asleep, half awake. Neither awake fully nor asleep fully. So it is a transition from sleep to waking state. But you are still lying in the bed, under the covers, head on the pillow. The moment you are awake, start the tip mode or the segment mode. If you are not afraid of falling asleep, start the segment mode. If you are afraid of falling asleep, start the tip mode. Keep switching from hand to hand and continue doing it as long as you are lying in the bed. As long as you are lying in the bed. There is no minimum, no maximum. It can change from day to day. Weekends, you can spend more time. See how it impacts on your body. The longer you do, the bigger impact it makes. Guaranteed. So third step is when you wake up. I call it the waking up meditation. Now come daytime. So now you're out of the bed, you are doing the morning routine, getting ready for the office, and you got into the car and you are driving to the office. What happens? And you stop at a red light. You stop at the stoplight. You can't help stopping. So when you stop at the red light, what do normally? Look at all the passing cars, the signs on the trucks, shape, color, make, all these things. What is the use of all the trash information? Useless here, useless for the mind and body. Instead, do your meditation. How? Your hand is on the steering wheel, keep looking at the red light and count your breaths. You can do it silently. And when the light turns green, go. So I call it the stoplight meditation. Actually, some people call it stoplight meditation. I call it the driving like a Buddha. Periodically, you are meditating even while driving, but you're in a safe position. You are stopped at the red light. So one of my clients who was 50 plus, very hyper type of person, actually a patient of Padma, and he did this meditation and he liked the stoplight meditation so much. And in his email, he wrote me, now I don't like the green light. Imagine somebody saying that, honestly. At least one man said that. So that is about the driving, and do it at every stoplight. And maybe even when you are waiting at the stop sign, looking here and there, just focus on the breath. You will be more patient rather than impatient. Or maybe you are waiting to take a left turn. Yes, wherever you are waiting on the traffic while driving, calm yourself. This is an opportunity for meditation. Momentary, few seconds, but it works. It helps. The next one is waiting meditation. Wherever you are waiting, whenever you are waiting, sitting, standing, anywhere, any place. Starting with the microwave in the morning, I put the cereal bowl in that, I'm waiting. How energy lower? The numbers are changing on the microwave. So keep looking at the numbers. Do the breathing. You can't go anywhere. You are waiting for the bowl. Do it silently and you will pass the time quickly. Or doing any routine work. I press my clothes. When pressing the clothes, the breathing automatically comes to my mind. Cleaning, whatever, gardening. You can use this technique throughout whenever you are doing any routine brainless activity, so to say. Put your mind on this breathing. You're getting relaxed, not getting tense. So that is waiting meditation. And you don't have given a name, just periodically feel the coolness throughout the day. You're sitting before the laptop, you are waiting for the program to load, screen to change. Take a breath. It is free, no charge for that.
Right. So Suryaji, Yeah, we have been practicing. I mean, I have been practicing this, and it's very helpful. Just to keep on respect for the time for everyone, we have few questions. So one of the question is, like, most of us are in IT, which is best mode to do sitting in a chair to relieve pressure temporarily?
Sitting in the chair, I'm sitting in the chair. You are also sitting in the chair. And how many seconds of time you have, or how many minutes of time you have? Tell me.
Yeah,
Tell me.
anyone who is stressed out, like they could try this counting meditation.
Just now, so many modes that you did were all under 1 minute.
True.
The counting mode we did for 1 minute. The tip mode we did for 1 minute. The segment mode was 2 to 3 minutes.
Right.
If you can take a 1 minute break, take it. Maybe put a timer, set the timer for 1 minute, low volume, do it.
So it's the answer is like very short, like could be 1 minute or could be 2 minutes.
Yes.
But we can reduce the pressure
Yes.
just by doing few rounds of counting.
Absolutely, you know, it is metaphorical. If you want to explain to me, if I want to explain to everybody, it's like this. Imagine a stress balloon. By default, you are pushing air into the balloon. Balloon is becoming bigger and bigger. The stress balloon is blowing, blowing, blowing. Now what? It is going to burst one time if you keep blowing it.
Right.
So if you practice for 1 minute, you are poking a small hole in the balloon, air comes out.
Yeah.
No. Balloon is sinking. Now it is up to you. You want to blow the balloon or you want to sink the balloon?
We have another question.
Hmm?
Right. We have another question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was very well answered. Like just by doing a couple of breaths, we reduce the pressure. The second question is, like, do you recommend any specific technique or tool so as to improve the concentration or mastery for reading a dry, factual book, which is full of rules, or any tough documents, which is totally new, but is critical for our professional jobs?
Yes, everybody needs that concentration, right? Who doesn't need concentration?
Right.
Concentration is very precious. Suppose you want to push a pin through a bunch of papers, which in good old days we used to do it.
Right.
You want to push a pin.
Right.
Sometimes the tip of the pin due to a manufacturing defect is flat. Your finger will hurt, but the pin will not go through the bunch of papers. That is the power of concentration. You will make a hole in the thumb, not in the paper. That is tremendous importance to concentration. I really like this question. And who would not like to enjoy concentration? Everybody. Everybody is suffering from lack of concentration.
Right.
How does it come? Concentration is lack of wandering.
Right.
The other side of the coin is wandering of mind. If your mind doesn't wander, by default you are focused. You are concentrating. Mind wanders.
So
and don't
the question
blame the
is,
mind. Yeah.
Sorry, the question is, so what is the tool? Do you recommend some specific technique?
Technique is train your mind in concentration. You have trained your mind to wander. You have to now do the opposite thing. Train your mind in concentration. Just like you adopt a dog, bring it home, you give the order, the dog doesn't obey your commands. What do?
Right.
You put your dog in the obedience training school.
Right.
They make the dog obedient. This dog needs training.
Very well.
Without training, no dog will listen to you. You have to train this dog. And it will work. It will, I guarantee, it will work. You have to train. You train the dog in wandering billions of times. Now you want the concentration to develop in dozens of times? No way. The old habits are like a deep, like a Grand Canyon. The water is flowing so deep below the ground level. Now you can't raise that water and make it flow in a different direction. The more you practice this concentration, meditation is concentration technique. It is training your mind and concentration. So more you train it, easier the water will flow in the new channel. Did I answer your question?
That's true. Yeah, yeah. And I've got a couple of appreciation that people have already practicing this technique and they have found a lot of benefits. They're really grateful for this. The entire family is practicing. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
That is good news. That is good news for all of you, because now you can believe my words, because somebody
Right.
believed my words and they are reporting, giving a feedback. So you can also believe my words and test it out at least.
Thank you, Uncle. It was this is Manjula.
Oh, Manjula. Okay, okay. Thank you.
It works, Uncle. Thank you so much for doing this.
Good, thank you. So now,
Now shall we go with the relationship thing?
Yeah. Now, shall I go ahead?
Yes.
Hi, CS Garu. This is Raja here from Long Island. I met you in 2013 when I was fully.
Yeah, I remember you.
You remember me, right? Along with my friend. So this mode, I can't believe how many people I've passed on this on your behalf. But I told them it is you who taught me this, especially the 3-segment mode. I'm having my mom also listen to this. I'm translating it to her right now, and I'm sure in the coming few months she should start. She should appreciate this pretty soon.
Oh, very nice. You know, if anybody is interested, thanks to all the modern technology of all you guys, I can work with anybody anywhere. In Telugu, English, or Hindi.
Uncle Suryanarayan garu, my name is Subhani Andi. I hope you
Subhani, I remember you.
Yes, I also practice, but not regularly. But I met you many times. I know you personally, but it's really helped me when I'm in stress mode. But whenever I get time, definitely I keep practicing it. I am very calm person now. Once I know the technique, it's really helped it. I picked your flyer in Hindu temple, that Hindu culture center. Then before I know you, I picked it. Then I know that we have from our same village side. So then it worked out very good actually. Thank you so much for your community service. And also I like your articles about the domestic violence. That's a very good topic. But it's not the now to discuss, but I recommend you to have another session on that in the future. That's really appreciated for you.
Oh yeah, thank you. So I will be very open with you. We will come to the topic at the end. Okay, let me conclude this meditation part, then we'll come to that. And thanks for sharing your comments. And one thing, have you noticed in all my recommendations, you have seen that you are not allotting time for this practice.
True.
You are only using the tidbits of time, idle times, the so-called mind-wandering times you are putting to good use. This is the best way of using your resources. So this doesn't clash with anything else you may be doing. You may be doing puja, you may be doing any other type of meditation, yoga. In fact, yoga is, every posture of yoga expects you to breathe in a particular manner. Movement and yoga is combined in yoga. Vishnu, you know it. So in a particular movement, you breathe in a particular movement, you breathe out. So it is highly synchronized. Movement and breathing is yoga. And the mind is really held. And yoga is fantastic. It will take out all kinds of trauma, which is very common for all of us. So next thing, and I would like to give you a few comments made by some practitioners over the years. One guy in India found a software engineer. He found my website. He contacted my email, and we worked by phone and WhatsApp video. And he gave in his email, I struck gold in counting breaths. That was his comment. Quote, I struck gold in counting breaths. Another local seminar participant said, this is a portable relaxation technique which I can take anywhere I go. And another seminar participant said, this is moronically simple, it works like magic. And the last one, somebody from New Jersey found my website. He was searching for what I don't know, and he found me, and then he called me and he said, I want to do your classes. I said, I'm in Albany, you are in New Jersey. Let us work by phone. Yes, we worked only by phone and email. And then he wrote in his testimonial, he was having a lot of problem. He was going to the gym and working out for hours together, but stress was not coming down. At the time, providentially, he found this. Then he wrote in his testimonial, said, this meditation technique helped me survive the crisis I was going through and saved my life. Exact words, ditto, I reproduced.
So
Now,
nice. Yeah, this is so
yeah,
nice.
it is very, very fittingly he used. And then because it's made so simple, because it's made so easy, I hope you will be able to make it a part of your daily life. And I pray to God that you will succeed in your efforts, because this is such a simple thing. It's like a gift you should pass on to your friends and your relatives and your children. So let me sum up before I switch to the second topic. We focus on the in-breaths and out-breaths. During the in-breath, we focus on the coolness. During the out-breaths, we count the breaths. First time 1, second time 2, third time 3, like this. And then we can use the tips of the fingers. We can use the segment of the fingers. We can stare at something. We can do the 911. These are all like different tools in your tool belt. Like the plumber or the handyman comes with different tools. You got all these invisible tools in your tool belt. Depending on the situation, depending on the inclination, pick one of these and do it. So many remarkable stories are there in my website. People who are having panic driving over the bridges, people who are going panicky, going into a scanner, and they were taking anti-anxiety medication before starting this technique. But after they learned this, they didn't need the medication. They could get the scanning done without medication. So there are amazing stories are there on how in some cases the relationship improved because one of the partners is able to keep calm, the other partner automatically came down from hyper to one of them was calm, other person calmed down. Real life story. So thank you for this and giving me this opportunity. Now we are coming to the end of this and we are 7:58, almost 8, and we had budgeted 1.5 hours. So I'm switching to the next topic, that is your tips for positive relationships. Very brief. I'll close within 30 minutes, if that is okay with all of you. And if somebody is time starved, they can leave that now. Meditation is over. It is up to anybody. So you can put the next slide, please.
Yes, I will do that. And if anyone has a question, he can just put it in the chat or you can unmute and then.
Yeah, good idea. And
So
we
I'm
can
going
come
to
to the question at the end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the second thing.
Okay. Yeah. Please centralize the screen.
Oh, okay, sure. So
yeah, we got it. So these are after. Let me tell you something which I have not said. How is meditation and relationship connected? I need to give a little background. So ever since my childhood, I've been seeing people, some people behaving very nicely and sometimes very nastily. And it was taken for granted that is okay. And some people behaving very nicely to some people and nastily to others, hurtfully. So this I've been seeing throughout life. That was bugging me. What is this? How is it? How can human beings do this? How is it possible? Then later on, while teaching meditation, people would come to the meditation. Yes, they are doing the meditation. They are liking it. It's going well. But when I look at their faces, it is a lot of tension there. The face is still tense. Something is not well. So I asked them, what is your level of stress now? It is. Then why is it not coming down? And when does it go up? And when does it bug you so much? So then a lot of stories came out. One master student from SUNY said, and he was right from first class, he was biting his nail like that, openly before me, sitting before me. because the tension, body tense, everything about him was hyper. So then after meditation, the biting nails came down, but he was not in this world. Then I asked, what happened? Why are you so stressed? No, I don't have confidence to speak to my classmates. When somebody asked me to speak, I'm scared. I said, why? Then I asked, what happened to you? Then he said, my father was always putting me down, comparing me with my elder brother openly. That was one thing. At one end, I saw a 30-year-old man. And other end, I worked with a 60-year-old white woman, and both were white, of course, this man also. And she said she learned from the first class onward, she will simply say, my mother did this, my mother said that, my mother, throughout for 1 hour. That's all she can think of. I asked, what happened? Oh, my mother was serving me food, filling my plate. She asked me to empty it. When I emptied it, again she filled it, again made me eat. I became fat. Then she started criticizing me for being overweight and fat. Oh God. And for how long? From 15 years to 60 years, for almost 40 years. And even now, when she was taking care of her 82-year-old mother was still taunting her. So that is about parents. Similar stories from partners, colleagues, bosses. This kind of stories, people came out slowly. I said, what? Then what is use of meditation? When I heard that, I recollected the poem by Yogi Vemana in Telugu. Translated into English, it is, you can't imagine how miserable life will be if there is a speck of dust in the eye, a stone in your shoe, a bug in your ear, or a nagging person in the house. The stress is unimaginable. And Telugulo, కంటిలోన నలుసు చెప్పులోన రాయి చెవులోన జోరీగా ఇంటిలోన పోరు ఇంతింతగాదయ విశ్వదాభిరామ వినయోగం వేమన శతకంగా. Maybe in my elementary school I read it, but it's so appropriate and it applies to all generations. So seeing that and seeing this, I realized, and some of the setbacks people in families I have come across, I decided to learn something. What is happening and why is it happening? What's going on? So I've been reading almost for 10 years all kinds of books on communication, confrontation, etc. Maybe 100 books I have studied. Neurobiology, immunology, what kind of thing? Attachment theory, communication, confrontation, meditation, all kinds of crazy books. Finally, I got some clear idea about it. So based on all that reading, I just put this to create interest in the topic. If some of you like it, then we can extend this field. I think this is one lack of education in the science and art of relationships that so many families are suffering, and they will continue to suffer. I have seen miserable people in my grandfather generation, my father generation, my generation, my daughter generation, and I'm going to see it in my granddaughter's generation. There is no escape from this. If we do not understand relationships and work on them and remove the taboo from that, let us discuss the problems, find solutions. There is enough knowledge available. The recommended books, what I wrote here, very important. These are like Bibles for me. Every book has given a valuable bits of information, and from kids to old people, all ages are there. So you can look at that. Let us go back to the tips, and I would like to touch on them in the about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So positive relationship with your own self is the foundation for positive relationship with others. If you don't have a good opinion about yourself, you are handicapped. You are emotionally handicapped. You cannot like anybody if you don't like yourself. Period. No questions about it. So if you are not you are constantly criticizing yourself, putting yourself down, I don't look good, this and that, you cannot have positive relations with other people. First, you have to feel good inside you. How you do it, that is your number one job. Before that, don't expect your relationship to improve. Next, as a baby, you automatically cry to announce that you are hungry or wet. As an adult, when your feelings are hurt, how will you let your people know? You have to let people know your feelings are hurt. Metaphorically, suppose you are sitting in the movie theater. A seat to your left is vacant. Somebody is coming in the darkness and they are trying to occupy the vacant seat. They are crossing your legs, kissing your feet, and they step on your toes. I asked this question to some people. What will you do if somebody steps on your toes? No, then they said they may not have seen it. It's okay. Then I said, what if they step on your toe second time, third time, 10th time? Then they kept quiet. I said, when somebody steps on your toes, your fundamental responsibility is to say, ouch, somebody stepped on my toes. You got to shout, come what may. If you are not doing that, something wrong with you. Don't blame anybody. If you are hurt, you have to speak up. And train your children to speak up when they are hurt, when they are feeling hurt. If you don't train your children, they will by default, they will swallow their feelings. And what happens when you swallow your feelings? Swallowing your painful feelings on the screen will make you oppressed, depressed, or violent. If you swallow your feelings, somebody will abuse you verbally, emotionally, physically. When your feelings are hurt, you have to speak up to somebody who will listen, to somebody who will help you, and do not swallow the hurt in yourself. And there is a book dedicated to this. The title of the book, which is not in the list, When the Body Says No. When you are not able to say no with your words, the body will absorb all that toxins. You will get diseases. You may become paralyzed one day. People with multiple sclerosis, according to that author and expert, he said they are the people who are unable to say no. The body is saying no by various diseases. That is his philosophy. Next one. And we were all born pure, innocent babies. Who taught some of us to hurt others, emotionally or physically? How come? Where did we pick it up? Some people picked it up. Where and how? Ask this question. Try to find answers. No baby can be blamed. Then why some adults become like this, some adults different? Let us find out scientifically. Next one is no one has the right or disrespect to hurt anyone, including own children. No. Nobody should speak hurtfully, or touch anybody disrespectfully. Nobody has a right for that. And you have to respect every person. A child is a small person, according to one expert. A child is a small person. A baby is a little person. No adult has a right to abuse a baby, verbally, emotionally, physically, whatever. Then you are not a human being. And next one is, if your mind is clear and heart is clean, you don't have to be afraid of even God. This is my mantra. Even in professional life, sometimes the situation is so delicate. You can't say that, you can't say this. This is that consequence, this is that consequence. I faced that situation more than once in my professional life. Then I have to decide, what should I say and what should I do? And this gave me the direction. Am I confused? Am I clear in my mind? I'm clear. I'm not confused. I have fact. This is a table lamp before me. This is a computer. This is a coffee cup. Yes, I'm not confused. I have all the facts. Then what? My heart is clean. I have no bad intention. I don't want to take revenge. I'm not greedy. I'm not trying to grab anybody, anything. I'm only taking what is mine. So my heart is clean. So if my mind is clear, my heart is clean, why should I be afraid of anybody? Even God. God comes before me and asks me, Surya, what are you doing? I will look into the eyes of God and say, no, My mind is clear. My heart is clean. I'm not afraid of you. I can tell this to God. No question of any human being. So if you are like that, then ask yourself, why am I afraid? What am I afraid of? Clear your mind, clean your heart. You don't have to be afraid of anybody. The next thing is listen and respond to others like a call center agent. We have been calling people, we have been listening to people. Have you noticed one thing? First thing, no call center people interrupts you. No call center agent interrupts your talking. Never. So that is the first job of a call center agent. Listen without interruption. Second, they listen to you and then they say, oh, if I understand you correctly, if I heard you correct, this is what you are right. You are asking, right? They will ask you confirmation of your reason for calling them. Okay. So both of you are on the same page now. Then they will do whatever they can do. Otherwise they will say, oh, this is the wrong number, we call that number, or we'll take action, we'll get back to you, etc. So that is second step. Third step, do you know? You know very well. Third step, they will at the end of it, you say, okay, then you say, you appear satisfied. Then they will ask you one golden question. Is there anything else I can help you with? That is the third step. So these are the three steps. Listen without interruption. Make sure you are in contact with that person. You agree on what they want. Third step, is there anything else I can do for you? That is the technology, and it works across the world. Next one, what will happen to the hurtful comments of anyone if you don't internalize it? Time is short, so I'm going to explain briefly. Suppose somebody is trying to give you a pen which you don't like, or some item which you don't like. And what do? They're trying to give you as though they're doing you a favor. You do, but you don't like it. Then what? You say, no, I don't need it. You're sort of delicate. So it is a delicate issue. So depending on the situation, even if you take it to please them or put up a good show, after you take it, put it in the trash. Metaphorically. So if somebody is giving you a comment, right now, if you can say, no, I don't like your statement, please don't continue. Keep with you. I don't like to hear such statements on the spot. Okay. You can't say that on the spot. Leave the place. Give some excuse and go leave the place. You don't be a sitting duck for nonsense coming at you. Then you don't internalize it. If you don't internalize it, you're not carrying it next day, next month, next year, and whole life, whatever somebody told you. Next one is expect the other person's behavior to change or change your own response. This is a golden rule. Only person you can change is yourself. You cannot change other people. But you have every reason, every right to respond in your own way. Next one, don't let others play their channels in your TV. Safeguard your remote. So you are like one TV, you have your TV and you have your remote, you are playing your channel in your TV happily. They have got, the other person has got their TV, they have got a remote, they are playing their channels. You are watching, suddenly you find your channels have changed. Then you look at your remote, what happened? You want to change. Then your remote is in the other person's hand. They are playing their channels in your TV. That means you handed over you let your TV go into their hand. No, don't let them do it. Nobody can make you mad, sad, or sad unless you give your remote to them. What mental states you carry is your responsibility. Nobody can play their channels in you without your permission. And the last one, our mind bodies keep on changing. Shall we tune into the living or the dead versions? Yesterday was Surya, March 26. Where can that Surya of March 26 be found in the whole universe? Nowhere. That Surya of March 26 died. Only person living is Surya of March 27 speaking to you at 8:15 p.m. This is the only living version of me. So is the other person. All of us are changing every day, mentally, physically. But if we keep on thinking the old versions of the people, and they keep thinking about you, your old versions of you, the dead people interacting with the dead people, you missed life. You are not, living people are not interacting with living people. Dead people are interacting with dead people. No wonder the world is such a bad place. If we can be in tune with what we are today, that is heaven. Not living in the past, not going into the future. So I would like to conclude here, and I thank you for your patient listening. And the next screen is the recommended books. I wish this recording can be shared with anybody interested. So all the information is there, and my email also can be posted. And maybe one more slide we can add, or somewhere you can put my email and my phone number. So whoever is interested, we can get together and do it at individual level, family level, group level, whatever way it works for you. And I would love to share whatever knowledge I have gained. I'm not going to take this knowledge with me, so I want to pass it on to all of you and learn from each of you. Okay.
Very nice. Thank you. It was very informative. I mean, I have personally benefited a lot. I went to like Dr. Padma Sripada, and I also got this pamphlet. It was very beneficial. This is the first time I'm actually having a live session. And if there is any question, please feel free. There are some questions on meditation. But before we go to meditation, is there any question on relationship related? Anyone?
Namaskar, I have one question. This is Radha here. May bolu question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my question is, I woke up at midnight and again hard to sleep. Sometimes it's very hard to sleep. My question is how to get a good sleep whole night.
Yeah. Can I answer now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So as I said in my meditation session, sleep problem is 100% guaranteed to be solved using the segment mode. Again, we can just refresh, touch the thumb to the top segment of the pinky, count 3 breaths. I will show only one. 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Like this, go to the middle segment, again count 3 breaths. Go to the last segment and count 3 breaths. Like that, do this at every finger. When you finish the left hand 5 fingers, go to the right hand and do the same thing. After right hand, get back and keep doing it. I guarantee 100% sleep problem will be resolved. People who are on sleep medication got off sleep medication.
Thank you, Doctor.
Contact me and I will help you.
Thank you, Doctor.
There is another question. While walking, if you want to do this meditation, how is this possible to concentrate on one point? Please help me while in motion to do this.
Yeah, there is a way to do that. Unfortunately, in the laptop, I cannot show it. When I do the classes, I show physically. Just I will describe in just few less than a minute. So I take a breath and then take 1 or 2 steps, walking very slowly. And then every time the foot touches the ground, I say 1. The right foot touches the ground, I say 1. When the left foot touches the ground, again I say 1. I repeat 1 3 times. 1, 1, 1. Okay. Then, but I stop. I don't count. Next 3 steps, I just breathe in, fill the air in the lungs, and then next I will say 2, 2, 2. Again 3 steps, I breathe in. This is how 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's like a rhythm builds up. But you have to practice at home, develop this rhythm, and then you can practice in the parking lot and wherever you want. And in 2-3 attempts, you will be able to make it. Maybe I can make a video and one day and post it. It's possible. And I have been doing it on the treadmill.
That's very interesting.
It is possible.
So I don't have any more questions left. If any
Good.
participant has a question, he can straight away unmute and then ask to.
Yeah,
submit.
that's a good idea. We have, yes, just 5 minutes there, not much, but don't worry. If you get questions later, email me or call me or message me. But best is email for me because I watch email more than anything else.
So I have put the email address in the chat window.
Yeah. And you can put my phone number also,
Sure, I will do that.
518-956-3433. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sunan Garu. Very
Oh.
helpful. Very helpful. Enjoyed it very much. I think I learned a lot, really. So,
But you try it, then only
Definitely.
you really, you want to get the benefit, try it as I described, bedtime, when you wake up, you are, you have, anytime you feel like, don't put any
Yeah.
rules.
no, definitely. Starting tonight.
Something, yes. Tonight and
Definitely.
tomorrow morning also.
Yes, definitely. Starting tonight and then,
Continue.
continue. Yeah.
Continue,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely. No, very helpful.
Thanks
Very
for joining.
helpful. Thank
And
you
I'm
so much.
happy. So many people have participated. I was thinking even 10 people participate. This is good enough, but we
Oh,
made a good.
definitely.
And I'm
Definitely.
willing to repeat the session for more introductory sessions. Then people want to go to the next level. Let us do that. Thanks.
Very
for
nice.
You don't have to drive anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Go
That's
ahead.
the best part.
And CS girl, what solidified your what helped me to solidify your teaching is while practicing this, when I was able to teach it forward to someone else, it also helped me a lot.
Really?
Yeah, because
Who's saying this, Rajendra?
yes, that's me. And
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You are a staunch believer.
yeah, because I'll tell you why. Let me also share my personal story with
Please.
with the remaining participants, if I can be given 1 minute time. So
Yeah,
in
please.
2013, I came to Albany actually to meet my friend, one of my very, very close friends. And I was around 26 at that time, and I had no problems in life. I was absolutely a happy person. But for some reason, I never realized it in maybe in my teens or maybe in my early college. I developed this anxiety thing and I let it grow. And I didn't realize it. Then I was prescribed Xanax, but I never took it. But I was lucky to meet CS Garu, and then when I met him, I didn't sleep for 5 nights. I don't know why. I have absolutely no clue why. And then while I was practicing the finger mode along with him, when he was teaching it to me, I actually slept on the couch right in front of him. And then I took that technique to home and I practiced it. I slept for like 12 hours after 5 days. I don't know why, and it worked. So from then it stuck with me. But the other thing, what I have to confess is I really have to practice this every day. I lost that again, so I have to get back to the discipline of practicing it, or not even practicing it, adapting it into my day-to-day life.
Very
Thank
good.
you,
Thanks,
Rajendra.
Rajendra.
Thank you.
It's very inspiring.
Anyone else would like to share?
Surinare Garu, this is Suresh. Actually, I just wanted to know, like, this is you mentioned that this is a initial, basic level. What will be the next, sessions? Because I just wondering, like, many positive impacts and stories we are listening from the, people. So we just wondering, like, based on, audience interest, I'm thinking, would it be possible to schedule next session, I mean, after like a couple of months later, based on feedback? So we just wanted to hear from you.
Yeah. So I would suggest one thing. This is such a precious thing from the couple of feedback that you heard. People who, one more comment I should say, I did these classes at Bhadrachalam. after 17 years, believe me, after 17 years, I got in touch with that group of people, ex-Bhadrachalam company people, and one of them remembered what one of the participants said in one of the seminar, this is like fitting an air conditioner to the brain. That was the comment made 17 years back, and he still remembered it and quoted it on the WhatsApp message board. Now imagine, that is the power of this. So my suggestion would be, let us repeat this introductory session at some intervals so that more people acquire the basic knowledge about it. And they'll be practicing on their own. Then we'll have level 2, so to say. That is my thinking. What do you say?
Yeah, it sounds good. But what will be the next? I mean, like in
Next
level
will
2?
be, yeah, good question. Next will be how to, depending on individual inclination, how to do the breathing meditation while walking. Number 1. Number 2 is sitting meditation. For like a traditional meditation, sitting either on the chair or on the cross-legged on a cushion, keeping your back straight, and that has got a tremendous benefit.
Yeah,
It
sure.
will pull out all the traumas that you have absorbed in your mind and body. It just cleanses your whole system.
Yeah, sure.
And third thing, last thing, once you have come to that stage, working with your thoughts, how you perceive people and things. Number 1, how you process the whatever input coming to your brain. Number 3, how you respond. So there are 3 steps: receiving the input, processing it, and output. All these 3 we have to refine them. Then all kinds of stresses, all kinds of problems can be properly addressed, settled. So that is the second and third step, so to say. And a lot of reading will be involved in that stage. There's so much knowledge available.
It was very nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Seskar.
So in case anyone has more questions or want to follow up, they can email us, and accordingly we can plan for the next session.
Yeah. And don't worry about number of people. Even if 5 people come, let us go ahead.
Yeah, that's
I'm not worried about that.
Since there are no more questions, I'll ask Nareshji to conclude.
I would like to thank all of you for taking the time, and 1.5 hours you have been with this session, and I'm very happy we made a beginning, and let us see how it goes. And I am there to help you at individual level, family level, or group level. Let us use all options. We have and wonderful technology available, and local associations, so many local associations. We can spread this to every association. The Telugu Association, there are other associations. We can do this.
Thank you, Suryanarayan Garu, for your valuable tips on meditation. That really helps. Even I tried myself. So probably based on the comments, we will have future sessions coming soon. And thank you, really. That was a great session. I never had any meditation earlier. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, shall we end the session?
Thank you, Vishnu, for hosting the session.
Yeah, thank you, Vishnu.
Thank you. It was a great
I'm
session.
really thankful
It was
to you.
really pleasure. Like so many people joined up. It was really thank you to everyone. Thank you to Suryaji. It was really nice to hear the new technique we have now in our pocket. We can practice it anytime.
Thank you all for joining the call. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Mandela. Thank you.
Stop the recording.